Welcome to No Nonsense Psychiatry, the podcast that cuts through the noise and the confusion surrounding mental health. My name is Mark and I'm your host, and my goal is to give you the clear, practical information you need to understand your own well-being. No jargon, no fluff, just honest, helpful tools to help you on your journey. Let's dive in.
No nonsense.
Welcome back to No Nonsense Psychiatry, episode 95, Blue Light Filters. We all know the rule. Stop looking at your phone before bed. But today we're cutting through the half-truths to understand why. Is blue light really a bad guy? Here's the no-nonsense answer. Blue light from the sun is essential for your health, your mood and your daytime energy. The problem isn't the light itself, it's the excessive artificial blue light from your screens and LEDs, especially when you're exposed to it at night time. This is a high energy visible HEV light that causes two major issues. Number one, sleep disruption. It's a powerful suppressant of melatonin, and it confuses your brain into thinking it's noon when it's 11 p.m. And then there's eye strain. In high energy scatters, making your eyes work harder, leading to headaches and fatigue. So today we're defining exactly what blue light is, detailing the primary sources, from your smartphone to your kitchen lights, and tracing the surprising history of blue light filters, from welding masks in the early 20th century to NASA and the scientific discovery of cells that control your sleep. Most importantly, we're giving you 3 actionable strategies from software setting to light changes to manage your exposure and reclaim your sleep. So let's get started. Blue light is not inherently bad for you. In fact, the natural blue light from the sun is essential for your health. However, excessive exposure to artificial blue light, especially at the wrong times, can cause negative effects, primarily related to sleep disruption and eye strain. Blue light is part of a visible light spectrum that the human eye can see. It is characterized by having the shortest wavelengths and the highest energy amongst all colors of visible light. The visible light spectrum ranges from red, the longest wavelength, the lowest energy, to violet, the shortest wavelength, the highest energy. Blue light sits near to the high energy end. The wavelength typically falls between a range of 4 to 500 nanometers. Light shorter than this is ultraviolet. The energy, due to its short wavelength, the blue light is often referred to as high energy visible HEV light. And this high energy is what gives it the potential to scatter easily, making the sky look blue and affect your eye cells.
If you're enjoying the podcast so far and appreciate our straight talking approach to mental wellness, please take a moment to hit the subscribe or follow button on your app right now. It takes 2 seconds and it makes a massive difference. It improves the content. The more the show grows, the better the resource and the production we can bring to you each week. It helps others, and a large subscriber base pushes these practical insights out to people who need them the most. And remember, this isn't just a monologue. We want this show to be a collaborative hub. And if you're a clinician with boots on the ground experience or someone with a powerful story of resilience, I want you to be on the podcast. Let's have a real conversation and cut through the noise together. If that's you, check out our guest link in the show notes. For now, let's jump back in today's episode.
Primary sources of blue light. Blue light comes from both natural and artificial sources, but the effects we often discuss are linked to the latter. Sunlight is natural, and the sun is by far the strongest source of blue light, and the natural exposure is essentially for boosting alertness, mood and regulating the circadian rhythm, the sleep-wake cycle, And then digital screens, which is artificial, modern devices like smartphones, computers, tablets, LED TVs and all LEDs that emit high levels of blue light to create their bright white colour. And then there's LED lighting, which is artificial, and energy efficient white LED bulbs and fluorescent lights emit significantly more blue light than the older incandescent bulbs. So why blue light matters? Blue light is relevant because it is unique biological effects on the eye and the brain. The melatonin suppression, so the human eye contains specialised non-vision forming cells that are highly sensitive to blue light. Exposure to blue light, particularly in the evening, signals to the brain that it's daytime, which suppresses the production of melatonin, thereby delaying or disrupting sleep. And along with that becomes eye strain, so because blue light scatters more easily than other colours, the eye has a harder time focusing on it. And this scattering can reduce contrast and contribute to digital eye strain symptoms like headaches, blurry vision and eye fatigue during prolonged screen use. Blue light is emitted by any light source, and the highest concentration and the most relevant sources for health concerns comes from digital and artificial lighting. Here is a list of common products and light sources that emit blue light. Digital devices, the most common sources, and these are the sources most relevant to eye strain and sleep disruption during close proximity and prolonged use. What are we always looking at? Smartphones and tablets. The LED backlit screens emit high levels of blue light. Computer monitors and laptops, all LCD and LED screens, utilize blue light to create the white light. LED televisions, LCD, OLED, QLED, large screens, though usually viewed from a distance, still contribute to blue light exposure. E-readers with backlights. Any e-reader that uses a built-in light source to illuminate the screen as opposed to natural light emits blue light. And then there's artificial lights. Modern energy efficient lighting that uses technology that is naturally high in blue light spectrum, especially those with a cooler colour temperature, bright white or daylight. LED lighting, light emitting diodes, the primary source of blue light in modern homes and offices. And while LEDs typically combine blue diode with yellow phosphor coating, the fluorescent lighting, traditionally curling or tube fluorescent, but emits significant blue light. Compact fluorescent lamps, these are popular household items, type of fluorescent light that emit blue light. Natural sources, the strongest source. While we typically focus on filtering artificial blue light, it's important to remember that natural source is the most powerful, and the most powerful, as discussed, is the sun. So sunlight is the strongest source of blue light, which essentially is for regulating our mood alertness during the day. This natural exposure is what sets as a circadian rhythm. Okay, so it's a normal thing. You wake up in the morning, the sky's blue, you know it's daylight. Other less obvious sources is car headlights. So modern car headlights, especially Exxon and LED types, emit very high amounts of blue light. Gaming consoles, the screens used in gaming consoles, monitors and TVs, and some of the indicators lights on consoles themselves emit blue lights. Digital clocks displays, appliances displays. Digital displays of microwaves, coffee makers, alarm clocks and other household appliances often use blue light. The history of blue light filters isn't tied to a single easily identifiable inventor or a specific invention date, because the technology has evolved over decades, several fields, and it's driven primarily by concerns about eye protection and sleep regulation. So early history and concepts, the idea of selectively filtering light to protect the eyes basically is quite old, but the focus on the blue light spectrum gained momentum in three key areas. Welders and industrial safety in the early 20th century. Long before the computer screens were a concern, industrial workers, particularly welders, needed specialised eye protection. Welding often produces intense white light, which is rich in blue and UV light, which can cause significant eye damage. So the goal is to protect the retina from the most dangerous high flow of energy light. And the invention filters were developed using specific oxides and dyes in the glass, like certain shades of green or amber, to absorb high energy light, including blue light. And these were the earliest practical applications of selected light filtering for safety. Space travel in the early 60s, NASA was concerned about the effects of bright light glare and potential damage to astronauts during spacewalks and while viewing the sunlit Earth. And the goal was to optimize visual acuity and provide maximum protection in extreme light conditions. And NASA developed a highly effective polycarbonate lens with a specialized coatings, some of which had inherent blue light filtering properties to shield against that intense solar radiation. And the modern blue light filter era in the 1990s to 2000s, the current understanding and widespread use of blue light filters are driven by two distinct scientific discoveries related to our modern screen-heavy environment. Retina health concerns in the late 1990s to 2000s, scientists began to study that potential long-term effects of chronic high-intensity blue light exposures on the retina, and the concern focused on high-energy HEV light, which is close to UV light. Why? Because research notably from scientists like Dr. Catherine S.R. Lee and Dr. David Slinley suggested that excessive exposure to shortwave blue light could accelerate damage to the macula, the central part of the retina, contributing to age-related macular degeneration, AMD. And the result is that the research spurred lens manufacturers like Essilor, and Hoya to develop lenses with anti-reflective coatings designed to be specifically absorbed and block a percentage of blue light, primarily to ease eye strain and potentially protect the macula. The circadian rhythm regulation in early 2000, this was a major turning point in discovering how blue light affects sleep. And the discovery is that in the early 2000s, researchers like David Burson and others formally identified intrinsically photosensitive retina ganglion cells, or IPRGCs, in the human eye. Wow. These cells are, which are distinct from cells used in vision, are responsible for detecting light intensity and regulating the circadian rhythm by suppressing the sleep hormone melatonin. SGCSs are most sensitive to light in the blue light spectrum, which the computer screens, smartphones and LED emit high concentrations of this light. Using these devices at night were proven to disrupt sleep. And the solution was understanding that the LED to development of blue light filters, which we use today for sleep. Amber orange glasses. So highly effective at blocking 450 to 495 nano range to maximize melatonin release. Okay, so software filters, night shift, night light, integrated into operating systems starting around about 2010, and this to automatically shift the screen color temperatures from blue to warm, yellow to red after sunset. So the aspect industrial filters, early of 20th centuries, glass dyes formed by scientists, and that protects the retinas from high energy light during welding and intense industrial exposure. Then the more filtered lens manufacturers in 2000s, eye strain to protection to reduce discomfort from glare, mitigating potential long-term retina damage from LED screen light. And then circadian filters researched in the early 2000s, developed in 2010, was to block that specific blue light wavelength that suppresses melatonin, thereby promoting healthier sleep cycles. So by avoiding blue light, especially during the hours leading up to sleep, primarily involves managing your exposure to digital screens and certain types of lighting. So here are 3 core strategies to avoid or mitigate the negative effects of blue light. Active software filters and digital devices. The easiest and most effective way to reduce blue light from screens is to use the built-in software that features that change the color screen and temperature. So implement night mode or night shift. Every major operating system, iOS, Android, Windows, Mac OS, has a setting that automatically shifts the screen's color towards the warmer red-yellow end of the spectrum after sunset. And this is the range of light that is less disruptive to the melatonin production. Set the schedule filter to turn on 2 to 3 hours before bedtime. And while not dedicated blue light filter, using dark mode on applications of operating system reduces that overall illumination of brightness on the screen, and that reduces the amount of light, including blue light, that hits your eyes. Change the evening lighting habits. Since modern LED and fluorescent lights are a significant source of blue light, changing your home lighting in the evening is crucial to supporting your sleep cycle. Switch to a warmer lighting. Replace high luminance cool white bulbs, often rated at 4 to 6,500 K, with bulbs that have warm colour temperatures around 27 to 3,000 K, and these warmer lights emit less blue light. Dim the lights. As the evening progresses, lower the overall brightness of your environment. Dimming the lights reduces the intensity of light wavelengths, including blue light. Use red amber night lights. Even use very dim red or amber lights in bathrooms and hallways. Red light has the longest wavelength and the least energy and has virtually no effect on the melatonin production. Establish a digital sunset and use physical barriers. The strategy focuses on creating a firm boundary between screen time and sleep time and using physical tools to block the light entirely. Establish a digital cutoff. Aim to stop using all bright handheld digital devices, phone, tablets and tablets 1 to 2 hours before intending to go to bed. And this gives your brain time to naturally release its melatonin. Wear blue light blocking glasses. If you absolutely must work on your screen close to bedtime, wear glasses with the amber or orange tint. And these tints are effective at physically blocking the blue wavelengths most disruptive to your sleep. Use a physical screen protector. Apply a dedicated anti-blue screen protector to your phone or your monitor, and these filters are embedded in plastic or glass that absorb and reflect a proportion of blue light in the spectrum before it reaches your eyes. So this concludes our deep dive into science, history and strategies of blue management, or light management, or blue light management. You've been listening to No Nonsense Psychiatry. This is episode 95, Blue Light Filters. We clarify that blue light itself is essential, but excessive artificial blue light exposure, especially from screens and cool temperature LEDs, is the real culprit behind poor sleep and digital eye strain. We've explored how the shortest, highest energy wavelengths suppress your crucial melatonin production, effectively delaying your bedtime every single night. We also trace the history of light management, from the industrial safe filters to the pivotal scientific discovery of intrinsically photosensitive retinal ganglion cells that govern your entire sleep cycle. And the solution is not about avoiding light entirely, but about managing what kind of light you consume. Remember the 3 core strategies we discussed. Active software filters. Use devices night mode or night shift to automatically warm your screen color. Change your evening lighting, switch from cool bright white bulbs 4000 K plus to warm white bulbs 2000 to 3000 K after sunset. Establish a digital sunset. Create a firm cutoff or use amber tinted glasses 1 to 2 hours before bedtime. Making these adjustments can have a profound and lasting effect on your quality of sleep, your mood and your overall psychological well-being. Thank you for joining us today.
Before we go, if you found the podcast helpful, please share it with someone who might benefit from it. You can also support the show by subscribing and leaving a review. It only takes a moment, but it makes a big difference in helping us reach more people. Thanks for listening, and I'll catch you in the next episode of No Nonsense Psychiatry.
No nonsense.